Well, thank you so very, very, very much. I deeply appreciate this moment in my own life journey and this opportunity to reconnect and to connect in even a more deeply way with the wonderful community of Loyola Academy. First of all, I want to thank all of you for making some time in your own life to come here and support this wonderful school that we all love so much, Loyola Academy. It's absolutely wonderful that you've turned out in such great numbers to be so supportive of it. And I'd like to, in a very special way, because I know it's difficult for everybody to fit things into their schedule, there is a person here that it was especially challenging to get here because she's no kid anymore, although you'd never know it. She is the best friend and inspiration of her children, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, and she's 93 years old, young. Would you honor my mother, Catherine Wall? And if I didn't tell you her age, you would never guess it. Please go over to table 39 and see a very young 93-year-old. Secondly, my deepest gratitude and with high regard to Father Pat McGrath. I first met Pat when I was a board member here at Loyola several years ago, and he was a young, unordained guy, very much interested in Jesuit identity and the Ignatian spirituality, and was on fire with it. And as he moved toward ordination, he asked if he might come to Old St. Pat's to spend his pastoral year as a deacon there. And then he honored Old St. Pat's in a wonderful way by asking if he could be ordained there. So I think it might have been the only ordination at Old St. Pat's. It was a very, very special honor. And I share in all of your joy when the announcement came that Pat would be a great successor of Father Ted Munns and take this next moment in the history of Loyola Academy. We are very, very, very lucky to have Pat McGrath as our president. For the last several years, I've been like you at this event. It seems like I've come to many, many of them, but the last 2 years and especially, I was so deeply moved at this moment of the journey because the Jack and Jay Hickey family 2 years ago and Jim and Sally Dowdle's family were honored here. And I was so deeply moved listening to both Jack and Jim speak of their years and their experience of Loyola, not only their own, but generations of Hickeys and Dowdles who have been touched by this experience of Loyola Academy. 3 generations, 4 generations, 5 generations of their family being part of this wonderful experience. And to see Loyola from the inside out, from people who have been day by day, year by year, generation by generation, touched by this experience that we are so fortunate to share together, was just a marvelous experience. And when you listen to someone from the inside out speak of it, it is just so deeply moving. I listen deeply to their talks, and I just want to share with someone who has not had the privilege of being an alum of Loyola Academy. I deeply, deeply love this school. It is just one of the finest experiences of school and of education and of faith formation that exists, I'm sure, in the whole country. It's such a powerful thing to experience this gift with you, and now today to be honored by being the recipient of this Father Daniel Lord Award. But I would like to, in a very special way tonight, just express my gratitude to God for the remarkable place that is Loyola Academy. These are such challenging times for young people, both of us both in the way that we are Catholics and the way we are Americans. And it's critical, both for the future of our church and of our world, that we do all we can to get it right. I say it to people all the time. You can't cruise anymore and be Catholic. You can't do it anymore. It just doesn't work. We need people and a generation of deep faith and conviction who are both intentional and thoughtful about their faith and who are creative and courageous about their ability to touch the world as members of the church and as citizens of our city and our country and the whole world. Loyola Academy plays a crucial role in this challenge. And I would just briefly like to say 3 things that I think that are happening here day by day, year by year, that really give me hope as we look to the future. First is Loyola Academy is one of the keepers of the flame of the vision of St. Ignatius and the guiding torch of Ignatian spirituality. The challenges that the world faces these days, they're soul deep. And by introducing our students and our faculty, our families, and our alums to the spiritual exercises, we are being given a powerful pathway to become truly practicing Catholics, moving us into powerful communion with God and a continuing discernment of God's purpose in each one of our lives, and that constant call to become women and men for others. What a gift it is to the whole Loyola community to enter together into this practice of prayer. The general of the Jesuits, Father Rodolfo, recently commented that the way he looks at the world, he sees us moving toward this culture of global superficiality. Loyola Academy is inviting us to strive for the magis all the time. Not only what is greater and what is more, but truly move into a place that is truly the deepest core of your being, where you are being loved and where you are being called into a fullness of life by a loving God. Secondly, Loyola Academy is creating an educational experience that honors both faith and reason. Loyola is inviting our students to experience a radical kind of humanism, truly radically rooted in divine love, but reaching out to explore the stars and as far as the mind and imagination can carry us. It offers a different way, a third way that stands in contrast to two extremes in our popular culture. In contrast to an aggressive secularism that only sees the empirical, Loyola is inviting us into the mystery of a gracious divine love at the heart of our existence. And in contrast to religious fundamentalism, Loyola invites us to aim toward excellence in pursuit of all knowledge, confident that nothing in science is alien to God, especially the God-given gifts that we've been given of our intelligence and an imagination. And finally, it is Loyola Academy, in the spirit of Father Lord, who is inviting our students and alums to become church, the people of God. Not only to become the future of the church, but be the church right here and now, gathered at Loyola, a young, vibrant church expressed in the lives of our students and staff, our families and alums. Loyola Academy is one experience of church. It is both sacred communion and a messy community of young women and men, all who share life together and are nurtured at the Eucharist and truly are living a life of faith in service to the world. To give witness to their faith and its transforming power to change hearts, to change lives, to change society, this is what our students and young people are being exposed to and called to. The church takes many expressions, but the one that is being called forth at Loyola Academy is this energetic youth movement of talented young Catholics and their ecumenical brothers and sisters committed to this great adventure of living with the Spirit of God, who has the biblical reputation of taking young people places they never dreamed of going. Rooted in faith, nurtured at the table of communion with the risen Christ, and sent forth in mission to do God's transforming work in the world. This is the young church that is being expressed by the students and staff of Loyola Academy and all of you as family and alums. Now, for the past 5 years, I've been president of a wonderful organization called Catholic Extension. Someone recently described us as a very adventurous lay movement of Catholics across the country who are committed to building up the Catholic Church, building up faith communities of excellence in church life and in church ministry in the poorest communities of the United States. Now, what most has edified me in these past 5 years, what makes me fiercely proud of being Catholic, is that you cannot go to the poorest places in the United States and not find the Catholic Church. So often it's a woman religious who had a wonderful experience in education or healthcare, and now as she goes into her senior years, instead of going off to a mother house someplace, is choosing to die with her boots on and serving the poorest and the poorest of communities. The church in these places is primarily a young church, with the vast majority of people under 40 years of age and large numbers of youth. It's an intentional church comprised of Catholics who are economically poor, but convinced that God is up to something in their lives and in the lives of their children. Does it sound familiar? Isn't that your experience as well? Church means everything to them because church is the community of care and the community of faith, the faith that transforms hearts, the faith that transforms lives, the faith that inspires change, the faith that truly ignites change in the hearts of people. Tonight, as I gratefully accept this award, my hope and my dream is that the young church, taking shape and form in the hearts and lives of your children and your grandchildren here at Loyola Academy, along with your parents, the staff, and alums, and the young church taking shape and form in the poorest places of America might meet and might become a mutual gift and a mutual blessing to each other. And if you are as intrigued by this vision as I, Google me at www.catholicextension.org. To Pat, to the board of Loyola Academy, to all of you wonderful people who are alums of the school and parents and grandparents who are loving it into life, thank you so very much for this honor and for inviting me to become more deeply a part of something I love, Loyola Academy. Thank you very much.